Now I'm like, let me try to do this. Okay. All right. Where is Mark? There you go. Let's do this.
Hi.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Forum Friday. Today I'm in the kitchen testing masa madre from Able and Shefa. I just make the sourdough less than 24 hours ago. So
Wow, so that's what you have coming out of the oven.
yeah,
Oh, awesome. Okay,
I made
now
tableaus. I don't know if you can see.
we've got to invent smell-o-vision.
So yeah, just Mark, why don't you just go ahead and ask me questions and
Yeah, so
try to
you mentioned
things.
less than 24 hours ago. So any of us who have done any artisan sourdough prep from scratch, I mean, it's at minimum 3 days up to a week, 10 days to establish a nice tasting sour.
Yep.
And so this Masa Madre, is this a Lallemand product?
No, this is a Able and Schaefer
Oh,
product.
Able and Schaefer. Wow. Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, I know. It's
Yeah.
just amazing because this is a new innovation.
Yeah.
And Able and Schaefer is
Yeah.
able to crack the codes on creating a bacterial starter, right? And making it
Nice.
commercially viable for the commercial baking industry.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know how we have been asked if there's anything you can use other than yeast in the market? I mean, I don't know if you had those questions before when you were at ADM, but I've been asked many times if there was a yeast alternative,
Mm-hmm.
because there is a certain part of the market that doesn't want to consume yeast. And
Oh, interesting. Okay. No, I've only had questions recently because of the from home artisan bakers, of course, because during the pandemic, uh, popularity in baking took off, and so people were looking to create their own fermentation bases.
right, so a certain population of America cannot consume yeasted bread. I don't know
Interesting.
why.
Yeah.
I don't know what the reason is behind that. I don't think there's enough scientific proof, but this is an alternative.
Uh-huh.
So if you don't want to use yeast, Able and Schaefer now has a product in the market that that is bacteria. Okay.
Interesting.
So this is the bacteria starter.
So it's a different bacillus then?
Yeah, it is a bacillus.
Yeah.
And basically, if it's not sour, right? So if you want the sour, then you have to adjust your fermentation, have more lactic acid fermentation going on there. So longer fermentation, cooler temperatures to get the sour. So you won't get the sour from this. Okay. And also, Able Schaefer has a whole line of sours too to add if you need that accelerated. So what I think is this innovation is going to change the market for sourdough type products, you know, and make sourdough mainstream. Mainly because you can use this in your standard operating procedures every week to invigorate the dough and to make sure there is a consistency with your commercial baking production.
Yes, yeah, I even see I see lots of opportunities for this, even within say the bakery mix category for in-store bakeries, for like in the supermarkets like Safeway and people like that, where they still bake in the bakery, but they want to use standardized formulation concentrates or mixes, and they you know, they can't do the long pre-ferments and that because it's too inconsistent. So this would be ideal for them. I mean, that would be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can, for those of you who are serving that community, you can not list yeast as your ingredient on your ingredient label, and just, it's just, I guess it's just wheat flour, water, lactic acid, bacteria starter. I think that's what you list. Not sure. It's such an innovative product. I have very little knowledge.
Yeah.
Right. So so that's that. And then we got a new sponsor. Their name is So Fresh, and they sent me packages. So after I bake these masa madre pup loaves for next week, don't forget to learn more about masa madre. Sign up for our sourdough class next week. It's online Thursday at 9. And Christoph, the master baker, will show you various ways to use the masa madre. Okay. Lynn's just making small little tiny pup loaves today so that I can do shelf life testing on them. Okay, so shelf life.
Too bad we can't cut them open and share them online.
One day, Mark. One day we should be able to do it. So, Mark, I have another new innovation today. It's from So Fresh.
Okay.
Have you seen a non-atmospheric packaging solution that helps with anti-molding?
No, only barriers, like light barriers and oxygen barriers and stuff.
Okay.
I've seen scavengers you can add in, but
looks like a very normal bread package, right?
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use this bread. I'm just gonna show you. It's not cool yet. Put it in here, and then we'll wait a week, okay, and see if it molds. It's going to use a regular quick lock.
Okay.
No special equipment whatsoever. It's a special bag though.
Yeah.
And then they promise 30 days mold free in here.
Oh, interesting.
I know.
Is it a coating or is it a material?
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know. They won't tell me.
Because I've seen for household use in the marketplace, my wife has tried them once. They're like these green bags similar to that. And you could put like strawberries in it or bananas or things like that. And they don't go moldy. They stay fresh much longer.
It could possibly be the same. I'm not sure.
Because there's part of the bacteria with fruits and things like that is are polyphenols and that's why like putting certain fruits next to each other accelerates the ripening, is because the polyphenols transfer, and so it must be something that's inhibiting that.
Yeah, I think so. So it's some kind of chemical magic that's happening, I think. Not so sure. I didn't sign NDA with this guy, so I don't know the exact technology.
Okay.
But they just said, go ahead and try it, Lynn. Do a test and see what happens. And then this is what I'm doing today. I'm going to start.
That would be great to see. That would mean, especially in some of the warmer climate areas that many of our members are having challenges, that would be really good to have something like that. Yeah.
And you know what? What I was thinking, you know how so many bread companies out there who try to expand their footprint regionally, freeze the bread, and then they thaw it, and then they can reach a further distribution, right?
Yeah.
This solves the problem, Mark.
Yep. That's
You don't need to freeze bread with these.
Yeah, well, freezing is a huge energy cost, and then of course transporting frozen is very expensive as well. And it preserves to some extent, but it also deteriorates the product in process, right? The freeze thaw, and then you can't control the thawing process that well, and that's where there's a lot of issues as well. That'll be fantastic. And I mean, and like I said, working in the warmer climates, I remember doing work in Jamaica and the Caribbean and things like that, and that's always a big issue. And so that'll be huge helpful.
Yeah. Do you want to try these? I can send some to you.
That would be fantastic. Yeah.
Okay, it's on its way.
I'm making actually some working on some. I'll have pictures that I'll post on the forum later today. Video is still in the works because I had some technical issues yesterday, so I have to repeat. but I'm making a herb and onion tomato bread using
Nice.
the Top Taste fried onions.
Oh, I love
And
top onions.
they look really
Good.
great.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, so onto the forum, I guess.
Oh yes, we need to talk about the forums.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
We've had an interesting conversation with Cheryl, and I think that it's something that probably a lot of people can easily get confused about and would love to learn more. And so, drop in the forum and join the conversation. And it is under under Clean Label is where Cheryl started her inquiry, and so she's looking to replace eggs. And was asking about the sources of lecithin and things like that. So that's kind of where we started. And so lecithin is a natural emulsifier in that sense, or a surfactant, as the term that we use technically, which is an abbreviation for surface active agent. The unique thing about lecithin is that it is has a hydrophilic end and a lipophilic end, meaning that one side of the lecithin molecule is water loving and the other side is oil loving. And that is what can help bring fats and oils together and stabilize an emulsion. Because there's a big difference between dispersing oil into water, where you just turn the oil into fine droplets that hang in the water about for a little while and then will coalesce again, or an emulsion where you completely emulsify them, that it's like they join forces and that stays stable, that emulsion. So this is also helpful in getting water into proteins in bread doughs and things like that. It's helpful also in aeration. Proteins themselves emulsify, such as the protein in egg albumin. So we've been having this conversation about this and understanding the role of the egg in emulsification and in cakes, and sources of lecithin, because lecithin occurs naturally in egg yolks together with the fat and other ingredients that are there, or other materials. And lecithin is, of course, also from soybeans. It is part of the soybean process. It may have even been a byproduct material long ago, because it is part of the degumming process to clean the oil up and make it nice and clear. Similarly, you can get sunflower lecithin if you can find it. It's really popular these days, and it's sold out most everywhere. And relatively new in the North American market is rapeseed lecithin. That is generally, it's marketed as canola lecithin, because in North America, people don't like the word rape. And although canola is genetically modified and rape isn't, and so it's a non-GMO canola lecithin.
So if it's GMO, it's canola, and if it's not, it's rapeseed.
Yes, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, rape is not genetically modified, but canola is a Canadian rapeseed invention. That's what the can comes from, and so it is grown mostly in parts of Canada, in Saskatchewan and Manitoba and Alberta. Right? But if you've ever seen a canola field or a rape field,
it 2 weeks ago.
they're gorgeous.
Idaho.
I've seen
it's amazing
in England. It's just so pretty.
It's amazing.
Yeah. And so, yeah, those are the conversations that we're having, and understanding emulsifiers, in that emulsifiers change the surface tension between water and oil, as a simple example, so that they can then combine and they will then remain together without separating again. So that is then an emulsion. Mayonnaise is an emulsion. Salad dressing is an emulsion. Hollandaise, for example, these are all emulsions. You can get a lot of fat-soluble flavors are often sold as emulsions as well. They look sort of creamy and things in color. So that's kind of the gist of that. We see a lot of questions often still being posted in the comment areas of the ingredient section and the process section of Bakerpedia. And while we encourage that, absolutely, but we would further encourage you to bring your question to the forum and post it there so we can engage a broader audience to help answer your question. Because when you post it in the ingredients section, Joanna makes sure that you and I get it, and Richard, and that we can add our contributions to that, and I try to get them pasted over to the forum. But until they're in the forum, you only have 3 voices seeing it. And when you
it's better to have a group of people commenting.
We're getting close to 2,000 members now. It keeps growing, and that's a much better chance of getting quick answers and different solutions that you want to be able to try. So that because there's always different ways to look at things depending on regionalities, climates, all resources available, all kinds of things. And so things are still progressing, and having good conversations and productive things happening in the forum.
Yep. What other things do you have?
That was the main thing. I'm going to, as part of this, as far as the FAQs, the frequently asked questions that we've talked about, I have made my personal executive decision here, informing you as well, that rather than trying to work on one document that's taking time to complete, I'm going to create a FAQ forum and just start posting questions and answers in there so that they will be individual conversation topics, so that also if somebody has a question on how to do something in the forum, they can just post it in the FAQ and we can answer it there as well. So then that'll be a more interactive way of getting this accomplished and getting everybody comfortable with the technology and the way this works. And so I think that'll speed things up for everyone as well.
Yeah.
Are you gonna put one open for us?
So for you, Mark, I'm just going to eat it for you. Because it's such a short fermentation for a bacterial starter in a high, intense mix. The crumb grain is very tight.
Oh, not too bad. That's nice.
But this is a rye starter I used.
Oh yeah, rye is going to be tighter anyway.
Yeah. The rye flour is a heat-treated rye flour from Solange's Mills.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some sour to it. Okay.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
So I wanted to let you know, and I'm gonna make sure you get this product as well. It does not have that yeast taste. I am so used to yeast taste.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a whole grain, very grainy taste to it. Wow, that's an interesting phenomena, because I have never tasted non-yeasted bread before. This is amazing.
Yeah.
I gotta send this to you, Mark.
Oh, absolutely. That would be wonderful. Thank you. Yeah.
All right, folks, thank you for joining us today. And come sign up with the link below for our Bake View next week on sourdough, and learn how to make sourdough without yeast. Okay. And if you need samples like that sent to you, go to bakerpedia.com. I'll sponsor showcase and click on Abel and Schaefer, and you should be able to get samples sent to you before the class starts so that you can have questions.
Oh, that would be perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, folks. Over and out.
All right. Thank you. Have a fantastic weekend, and we'll see you in the forums.
Okay. Thanks.
Bye.